What's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be working on the 2006 Yamaha R6. I picked this bike up a couple of months ago, traded it for a 94 Bash Tracker. I'll put some shitty cell phone pictures in there so you can see it. It's actually got a blown motor, so what we'll be doing today is pulling that motor out. We'll be hopefully putting a new one in the same day, but we'll see how that goes. We will take it and we will move the Polaris out the way, make some room, and we'll start taking it apart. Gonna put it up on a stand, start pulling off all the plastics, drain the fluids, and then hopefully take the motor out. There's someone's wiring that I found that was pretty terrible on both of the side markers, but other than that, everything's looking pretty good, other than the blown up motor, obviously. But what we'll do now is drain the oil, drain the coolant, pull the radiator, pull the header, take off the chain, and then hopefully get that motor out of there. Got the gas tank out, fuel lines disconnected, the sending units disconnected. Now we got to take out the air box and then get down into where the engine's sitting so we can disconnect some of the electrical for the coils, and then remove the radiator, the chain, and the headers, and she should come out. The velocity stacks off, the chain's about to come off, I got the shifter linkage off, the clutch is off, the header has been removed. One of the O-rings actually just fell out. Should probably fish the rest of these out of here. Okay. These are just basically gaskets between the exhaust manifold and the head. Very important unless you're keen to listening to some exhaust leaks. So what we'll do is unbolt the 3 engine mounts and we'll drop it out and hopefully not rip any wires out of the motor. Chain is actually riveted together, so I'm gonna need my impact to take this front sprocket off, but I don't have my compressor here. So for today, we're going to open up the engine, take a look at that, and then clean up the shop a little bit, and then pull the Polaris in, and then call it a day. Let me grab my knife, and we will open up that bitch real quick. See what we got. Oh my God. If you're keeping track, that was 3 boxes in one. Looks like there's a smaller package inside the box. emissions bullshit.
Real careful.
Thanks.
Not to cut anything. That's important. Exhaust side. Ah, so the motor was shipped upside down.
There she is. Nothing special, but I'm sure with a little bit of coaxing, it'll do some wheelies here in about 20 hours. All right, so it's the next day. Just got off work. Gonna pull the Polaris out and we're gonna start getting that engine out of there. First thing first, turn the compressor on, start pulling that front sprocket, and it should come on out. So as many of you probably knew prior to me, the front sprocket is a bitch to get off. So it's not, and we will be leaving it there. And I have changed my methods. Oh, much easier. So now what we gotta do is pull the engine mounts, which is this bolt, this one down here. I believe that is one right there as well. And then we will lower it down and start pulling the injectors and the throttle body off, swapping it over to that one, start getting it put in. All right, so got the motor out. Going to take the injectors, throttle body, wiring, starter, basically everything off of this one and put it onto this one. Call it a night, but for now we have all of the electrical hooked up, the airbox on, the headers on, all of the clutch cables, the throttle cables, the shifting linkage, and all of the fans and electrical for the radiator are in. Now all we gotta do is put the tank on and put some oil in it, put a new oil filter on it, and then see how it sounds. But that will be for this Sunday. So bear with me, it'll be 2 seconds for you, 2 days for me. So it's been a little bit longer than 2 days. We're looking at about 30 at this point. I had pinched the crank angle position sensor wires between the engine and the frame, and it wasn't getting any injector pulse or spark. So I had to trace down all the wires, look at the resistance and the continuity between the ECU and those sensors. And I found out that it was, in fact, a pinched wire. So I got that all soldered together. repaired, and the bike ran really great. After a while, it did have an issue with the injectors clogging, but I think it was just all of the movement of the tank during the process of removing it and installing it that stirred up some sediment from the bottom and was clogging the injectors. So I got all that resolved. So we're gonna go hop in the 240, take the bike out, get some rollers, get some footage of it burning out, and getting rid of that rear tire as best as we can prior to replacing it tomorrow. So stay tuned and enjoy the burnout.
Fuck yeah, bro. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
So it's the next day. I went and dropped off the tire at R&S Polaris Honda. Got it wrapped in a new Michelin Power. It's not the tire I wanted, but it will work for now. The one I was looking for was a Michelin Power RS. That's a dual compound tire that does heat up a lot quicker than this one will. It's not a huge deal because this one is probably going to last about a month or two, depending on how hard I ride and how often I'm riding. But what we'll do is put it in there and we'll get this thing wrapped together and go for a ride tonight. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. If you aren't already, follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and just keep up with your boy, and we'll catch you on the next one. What are you doing? What? Do you want to go for a ride on the motorcycle?